back to La Vida de Mariachi Honor. I'm Tony.
And I'm Angie, and today we have a different host because Ariana couldn't make it this week, but she will be back next week.
Let's be honest. How often do you actually practice?
Be honest, not what you tell your director.
Today we're talking about practice, what we think it is, and versus what it actually is.
Okay, let's be real. How often do you actually practice?
I'm gonna be honest, I try to practice at least 5 times out of the week, but sometimes I end up cutting it to 3, maybe even 0.
Honestly, same in some aspects. I usually practice 6 times a week, but I do sometimes cut it down to 4 or 3 times a week because I get busy or I just have other things to do.
Some problems that people have when they get home and practice is you walk in your room or you walk in your house with your instrument in your hand and you're thinking to yourself, I'm gonna practice. I'm gonna nail whatever measure I'm missing, whatever note I can never get right, whatever accidental, whatever. And as soon as you enter, you see either your couch or your bed, and then you realize, I don't really want to practice anymore. I'm too busy. I had a really long day, and that's really understandable. But sometimes you need to step on top of that. You need to realize I need to get it done, and I need to get it done ASAP.
And that's where your motivation comes in.
All right, practice versus reality.
Expectations, you play for an hour, you're focused, and you have no distractions.
But the reality is, play one song, then you check your phone.
Expectations, you fix your mistakes.
Reality, play it again, hope it just sounds better.
Never the way to do it.
All right, so we brought in a guest for this one.
Come on down. Okay, introduce yourself.
My name is Mr. Hernandez. For those of you that don't know me, I primarily teach mariachi here at Madera Unified, mostly just the middle schools, but I dabble here and there with teaching some different grades. Might help out the elementary school, might help out some high schoolers here and there.
What does your practice routine actually look like?
My practice routine. Well, when you become a music teacher, you spend a lot of time facilitating practices for your students, and you tend to neglect your own practice. There's blogs and studies and help groups and all that kind of stuff. You can find it all over Facebook where all of us old teachers talk, and we complain about how we don't have enough time to practice for ourselves anymore. But when I do get a chance to practice, I really like to practice my scales. I love scales. Hated them when I was younger, but now I believe that scales are the way to go. If you can do all of your scales, it makes playing music a lot easier because every note you play in your scale, you're gonna see somewhere. Never neglect your chromatic scale. Never neglect your chromatic scale. Okay, your chromatic scale teaches you every note on your instrument. So do that as much as you can.
Okay, what's the hardest thing about practicing?
The hardest part about practicing, there's 2 sides of it. When you first start practicing, the hardest part is grabbing the instrument, taking it out of the case. You're just staring at it. You're like, wow, I know that I want to practice you. But for some reason, you look so unappealing right now. And then you finally pick it up, and you don't want to let go because you know that you're going to have to go through the same process when you pick it up again. That's the hardest part. The hardest part is when you're like, I don't want to stop practicing because if I stop practicing, I don't know when I'm going to have the free time to practice again. And that's where discipline comes in. Time management comes in.
What advice would you give to someone trying to improve on their instrument?
Practice. Even when it's hard, but never. They say in a relationship that you should never go to sleep angry. It's the same thing with your instrument, right? You never want to have an unhealthy relationship with your instrument. When you practice, you should try your best to end practice with something that you're familiar with, that you like playing, so that you always leave practice with a happy thought. That's my best advice for you, is don't get so caught up in perfection. Lose yourself in the journey.
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez, for being the guest.
All right.
Thank you for.
Always remember, practice makes perfect, but perfect never happens, so you always have to practice.
Like that
That's
one.
right.
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez. All right, let's actually help some people out.
Yeah, not just saying practice more and all this other stuff.
No, let's actually get to practicing the harder stuff instead of the fun and easy stuff.
Yeah, just like she just said, playing the harder stuff, eventually like slowing it down and not playing it like already up to tempo. Because I feel like if you play like really up to tempo, you're not really gonna learn it like as good as you should. Slow it down a little bit, play it with a tuner or a metronome, and then take it up. Like say for example, you have a song that goes to 110 BPM, take it at like 70 or 80, then eventually like once you get it at like a good, you keep on going up a bit, then you actually practice it at the same speed the song is originally supposed to go.
Me personally, what I do for those harder songs, especially those sones or just those songs that have lots of notes, I like to take measure by measure, and I like to work on a section first, and I like to just look at those notes and look at the beat and take it slow, like Tony said. Just take it slow at first and just practice measure, and then once you get that measure, then go 1, 2 to the next measure, and then go back to that measure, and then just keep going. And although it seems challenging and although it's pretty time consuming, one day you will reach your goal. And those hard songs that seem super hard, I promise you they will become easy, because that was me once, and I thought all these hard songs were just like never gonna happen, and well, I got it now.
All right, let's just talk any ensemble pet peeves.
When someone doesn't practice and it clearly shows.
When people talk way too much of something that's not relevant in the rehearsal.
When someone is out of tune and doesn't fix it.
Thanks for listening to La Vida de Mariachi Honor.
If you like this episode, make sure to share it with someone who needs to practice.
You know who you are.
Okay. Yeah, so you better get to practicing. All right then. See you
See you
next
next time.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.